I need to start this video off by saying a huge thank you to Stamping with Randy. Your idea of using Velcro, similar to this, like the sitting spots, not the really big ones. Either this is the same thing you were talking about or it helped to spark another idea. But guys, my issue with my desks and the tape has been solved. So if you haven't seen that vlog yet, I did a video where I started using gaff tape to be able to put tape in front of the feet so that students knew exactly where to put their desks. The problem was that students would move their desks, it would shift, and the gaff tape would start to come up, or just masking tape. I tried duct tape, all of the things, and it wasn't working. Well, I got that message and it gave me the idea of using these little Velcro dots that have one side are the fuzz and the other side is kind of the rough version, so that when you stick them together, I have a ton of them, but I started to use just the soft versions. Guys, this is like the most amazing thing. They're not rough, so it doesn't cause friction. The students can hide their legs, as you can see right there, so they know exactly where to put them at the very end of it. And every single one of my desks, it's worked so far. So unbelievably thankful. Thank you, Stamping with Randy. You are absolutely the best. So I wanted to show you the Velcro. So this is a great way of kind of seeing it. So there are these little Velcro dots. One side is fuzzy, the other side is going to be rough. Unfortunately, I don't think I have any more of the other version, but they come in strips, obviously. So here you can see, here's the rough version, the soft, and then I have like squares as well. But I used all of these, and it worked out great. Oh, guys, it is seriously so nice. So yesterday I was not in school. I was under the weather and I had a doctor's appointment. I'm in school today. I still have a little bit of the same feelings, but things are gonna get better. It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna make it through the day. I have a very positive attitude and I'm just hoping that that just kind of continues all day long. So I had a sub. I need to go through and just look through a lot of the materials that I left. It's not too horrible, doesn't look too messy, but I feel like things are just not exactly the way that they were. I spent some time this morning going through, cleaning off all of the desks. I've somehow had multiple hooks come off with their think marks, so I need to attach those hooks back on. I think I'm just gonna end up using some hot glue gun to just adhere them, because the little stickers, I think it's because of the humidity, it's just falling right off. And this is also another one of the reasons why I tell my kids, walk down the aisle instead of walking across the desks, because then they hit into the desks and it just causes a mess at the end of the day. So when I'm not here, obviously things are not going to happen exactly the way that I want them. I know that, but I just feel like I always have to do a little bit more cleaning up in the morning, where I usually will come in and things are just ready to go. So because I had a sub yesterday, I think I'm gonna spend collecting papers here. I think I'm just gonna spend the majority of today really going over what was happening yesterday. I had some kids who were really overwhelmed, who were upset, especially my 6th graders who I had all last year, like all last year. And they were having problems working with their groups, and so I need to kind of pull back a little bit on the reins and then just talk to them about some of the issues that we're having with working collaboratively in groups, because we haven't done it in a year and a half and it's challenging. Like, are you guys seeing the exact same thing? Because I have, like, the kids are getting frustrated with one another. They don't know how to talk to each other. Some kids are working on without their groups, and it is a struggle, but I feel like that just motivates me to want to put them in groups even more because we have to learn how to do that. You can't just work independently or send an email to your teacher and say, I need to move groups because I'm not working well with this person. I got like 3 of those yesterday. that doesn't work that way. You have to be able to collaborate and work with one another. So we're gonna spend some time kind of discussing that a little bit today, review some things with 5th grade, and I'm gonna share some things along the way. So, no meeting this morning. I'm gonna end up making my coffee real quick and grabbing something to eat because I haven't done that yet. But I wanted to share how proud are you guys. I'm drinking almond creamer. Almond creamer. It's actually so good. I don't know if you guys have had that. I'm trying not to drink as much dairy creamer because I know it's not the best for me, but we'll see. So let me make my coffee and then I'll be right back. So one of the goals for my students today is that during my block 1, which are my 5th graders, we are going to be editing our papers. And so one of the things that I have created for my Bridging Literacy community, so if you're a member within the community, don't forget you have the anchors. My voice is in and out. But we have the anchors for unpacking anchor standards, and in writing 3, which is W.3, there are highlighter toolkit editing. I've said this multiple times on this channel, guys. I love highlighters. It makes learning very visual for students. They're able to kind of see it. And so there are so many different ways that you can use highlighters in the classroom. So what I've done is I've kind of created these little highlighter toolkits. Now you can purchase this inside of my store. It comes with this little highlighter toolkit, and then it has some different types of ways that you can use it, and you can print those out and put them inside of here. So I just have mine with the covers. I don't actually have the little printout version of the highlighter toolkits inside of these right now. But I went on ahead and made these. They're already ready. They have all the colors that I need inside of them. And so I printed out the version that I have within my Bridging Literacy community. And so we use 4 different colors. And so the first one is yellow. And so anytime that there's incorrect spelling, the editor is going to highlight that word yellow. Anytime there's any sort of punctuation missing, they're going to highlight it green. Capitalization is going to be blue, and then anything that just doesn't make sense is going to be kind of a pinky color. It's coming off purple here, but it's actually pink. And so here are some of the examples that I have with my 6th graders. You can kind of see here that they have some different things that are edited. They even went through and kind of wrote the correct spelling for this student. Again, not a ton of errors on this child's, but they just went through and they edited each other's papers so that they can get another perspective on making sure that everything looks good before they submit their final draft for me. So 5th graders are going to get to do this today using some of these tools here. I will end up handing out to my students these little cards so that they can have them when they're editing their papers. I do try to teach them in the very beginning, you know, hey, go through, look at the first one, the second one, like do these each individually instead of trying to do them all together because it does get overwhelming. And one way to be able to scaffold this process for students if this is all new is that you might want to only have them do spelling and punctuation, or just spelling and capitalization, or just maybe one. And then as the year progresses, you can grow it to make all of 4 of these an editing device here. Because I have my 6th graders last year, when they were in 5th grade, I just went on ahead and let them do them all because they were fairly used to doing this within my classroom. So I'm gonna spend a little bit of time this morning just making sure that I have everything ready to go. I gotta change my date and things like that up on my board. My morning message is up, so that feels really good. But now I'm just gonna put some chill music on, have everything ready so that when the kids arrive, I feel fairly good for the day. Echo, play the Harry Potter soundtrack orchestra version. It is currently my lunch break, and I have my food heating up. I'm eating the same thing that I always eat, which is cauliflower, like macaroni that I get from Giant. It's great. So I typically will eat that and a yogurt. And I have a Diet Coke, which always makes me very, very happy. So today, this morning, I've only really had one block. So the way my schedule works is that I have a morning meeting with my homeroom, which is a mixture of 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, and then we go into our block 1. So block 1s are going to be separated by grade level. I teach 2 blocks of ELA. So I had my 5th graders in. We were able to start editing. So I got their papers back that they have edited using their highlighter toolkits and also their little highlighter editors that I showed you earlier. And the next step after this is going to be for me to hand each of these back to them. They will then make the corrections in their own papers. They're going to do their final print, and then they will submit it to me to be graded within Schoology. For that final print, we always have like an author's day where we will put out our papers, we will have popcorn, and we just kind of walk around the classroom and enjoy each other's stories while also eating a little bit of our popcorn in celebration. So that's going to be next week because tomorrow's a half day, so we won't be doing all of that, but they will get to edit their papers and turn them into me. So hopefully Monday we'll have that author's day and it's going to be great. I wanted to show you guys one other thing that I have done with my groups that has been very, very helpful. So as students are working, basically what I do is I will pull kids back to be able to work on various skills. I only have an hour for my first and my second block because our schedules are really tight this year. We don't have a ton of time. So once that hour kind of comes in, it's like we're go, go, go. I don't have a ton of flexibility with pulling small groups, so I have to be fairly creative. And I really just go based on flexible grouping, which allows me to just pull various needs with various students as I see fit. So one of the things we've really been working on is vocabulary and hitting that hard. So I created some task cards, which are within my Bridging Literacy community membership. It is going to be opening back up in December, so if you want to follow the link down in the description box, you guys can put your name on the waiting list so that you can get notified once it is opened. But I created some task cards for my students to be able to work through. There's my lunch. And oh, it smells good. It always smells so good. And so what I've been doing is I will pull a card and I will work with a very small group, maybe about once or twice a week, to be able to make sure that they're really hitting this and understanding this skill. Because working with context clues, pulling out the meaning from the text and not their prior knowledge is very difficult because they want to just go with what they already know. So let me show you what these task cards look like. So these are my task cards that I have created for them. They have each their own little individual story, and then the words are kind of in bold. The students will then select what type of context clue they were able to pick it up from. And I like that it does this here because it helps to kind of minimize and say, okay, well, it's one of these 4 versus looking at the huge amount of different types of context clues that are out there. So we have like our context clue anchor chart up here, but that's just tends to get overwhelming. So it's really nice just having the 4 options here. So the students will then pick it. So I will normally work with them on whiteboards, but they have, for those of you that are in my membership, we do have task cards pages that they could do independently or with a small group if you want them to. Personally, I've just been working in small groups with them. So the kids will then choose which one best fits, and then they will have to write it into a sentence. I infer agile means blank because of blank. And they have to explain to me how either visualize or synonym or something to that extent has allowed them to really understand the meaning of that word. So I've been working with them on this. I was able to pull a group and practice today, which was really nice. And that I can just keep pulling out cards as I kind of go through, and I just keep it inside of my planner, which card I work with which group. So that's something else that we were working on. And we always use, like I said, our think marks, which are also the same that are going to be up here. So after lunchtime, I will have content with my class, which they're going to be doing a flip grid on why are decomposers important within an ecosystem. So they started this brainstorm yesterday. We're going to go back over it as a class, and then the students are going to be able to create their flip grids, so their videos, to be able to share with everyone. And then after that, we will have block 2. And it's like a stretch. So it's like we are teaching until pretty much the end of the day, because that's my last break, is at the very end of the day. And then we end up going home. So I will catch up with you guys a little bit later on. I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna enjoy my yogurt and my Amy's bowl, and just kind of start looking over some of my students' work from today. It is now the very end of the day, and I just want to go ahead and note that my room is an absolute mess. So here's what my desk looks like. Got all kinds of good stuff. So I met with my block 2, which are going to be my 6th graders. And this is the group that I mentioned earlier. We were having a lot of difficulties when it came to working with our peers inside of a group to try to work through something that was very challenging. So we started off by just having a conversation of, why is this challenging for us? Because we haven't done it in a year and a half. And just the approaches on how they were doing things. Because I noticed that one of the things that they did is that they would open up their folders and everybody's hands would just pull something. And so they weren't communicating what they were reading. So we talked about some different strategies that we really could have used to make it go a little more smoothly, so that everyone had an understanding of, what were all of the pieces of evidence that we did have. And then the students were able to really start working together. I did a lot of hopping around with groups to kind of guide them in their responses. I did put them inside of folders. So all of the evidence is inside of each group's folder, and then I put a sticky note with that group name on it. I'm not going to show you what's inside of the folders because this is going to be an upcoming mystery for the bridging literacy community. So I'm testing it out in my classroom to get an idea how well it's going to end up working, but I will reveal all once things are solidified. I feel really good about them, and I can launch that out into the group. So again, make sure that you are signed up to hear when the community is going to open back up. It's going to be in December, so make sure you follow that link down below. But overall, that went so much better than the last time. I think the kids are pretty much done. They're writing up their final responses on who they think did it, talking about the evidences that they have, and we talked a little bit about red herrings as well. So that's pretty much done. At this time, I'm gonna go ahead and start cleaning up my room, make it look ready for this afternoon so that I can start to wrap things up and be done for the day. It's very, very hot. I'm sweating. Ugh. 2 cups of coffee. That was my day today. It's officially the end of the day, and I have already pretty much packed up everything. I have my backpack ready to go. I have my assignment for tomorrow ready to go. The kids are going to be finishing up with their writing assignment, so they're going to look at the revisions that were given to them today. They're going to get that submitted, and then I might do a little bit of Flashlight Friday with them. So we'll see how much time we end up having, but Flashlight Friday is always a fun way to kind of calm them down after a very crazy week is what I feel like. But I did want to show you guys before I start to head out one other thing that I've done. So this week, at the very beginning of the week, I had sticky notes on the kids' tables. You're going to see some of those sticky notes are over here. And I had the kids come up with a goal that they had for themselves for the week. And we talked about different types of goals that they might have. And I wanted this to be on something that would help to improve them as learners. And so they wrote their goals down. We talked about them, and we had them posted up here on my cabinet door. So now that tomorrow's going to be Friday, one of the things that I'm going to have them do is basically go through and just reflect. So they're going to have this sticky note, which we've kind of passed out. The kids helped me at the very end of the day pass them back out. And they're going to reflect on it, and then we're going to talk about it right before we end up switching to go to our classes in the morning. But that's just kind of the last little bit that I have. I can't remember if I mentioned that tomorrow is a half day for me. Well, actually for the kiddos, not for me. Can't get too excited there. But the kids have a half day, so they're gonna be leaving at 12:30. It tends to be a really, really quick day. I think we have about an hour of instruction after like lunch and special and bathroom. Not a lot of time is like left for the end of the day. So they'll have that, and then I have professional development in the afternoon. So it's gonna be a nice kind of way to end the week. We're gonna be talking about like literacy data, but it'll be good, it'll be fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this vlog here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you will, go ahead and check out the link down in the description box to join in or to get onto the waiting list for the Bridging Literacy community. It is a great community. We have some really great resources that are gonna be coming out very soon. So very excited about some of the things that are gonna happen there. So check out that link. Be sure to subscribe, like this video, and hit that notification bell so you can get notified the next time I go live or upload, and I will catch you all next time. Bye guys.